everybody, it's Sonjdradeluxe. Can I get a hell yeah? Yeah. So today we're making this really juicy, delicious burger. I cut it in half so it's easier to eat, you know. We had like a sunny day. It's been pretty cloudy and rainy, so we had a little bit of sun and I was like, let me fire up the grill, baby. So I made this burger, very easy to make and it doesn't take very long. My brother, who just turned 20, said that he wanted to learn how to cook. This is what we made, so it's very simple. He does not cook at all, and I ended up giving it to my parents. Both of them said it was really delicious, so I wanted to make it on my channel, exploring some new spices, and freaking bomb. Very juicy, a little bit of spice, a little bit of sweetness from our little salad that we made. You will always impress yourself and your guests when you make your own dressing, and it is literally 2 ingredients and it's really delicious. Simple ingredients, something you can kind of throw together in 30 minutes, because this will be the last food tutorial I'll be putting on this channel. I'm going to keep it just makeup, and I will be using Sonjdradeluxe as my food channel. So subscribe and I'll link it down below. So if you want to see how to get the dish, then please stay tuned. Alrighty, because I grew up with a Jamaican mother, you gotta clean your meat. So I'm just taking some vinegar and some cool water because I don't want to use warm to start the cooking process of the chicken. Even the smallest amount of heat can change and cook the chicken. So I'm just swishing it around with a little bit of vinegar and water mixed together. I know it is controversial to some people to wash your meat, but if you grew up in a Caribbean household, you have to do it. Just consider it an ingredient. Get it done. I'm swishing it around, getting that foggy water out of there and straining it as best I can, because we want to make sure that there's as little water possible on the meat so that all of the marinade can stick. To speed that up, I'm just going to take some paper towel in my hand and I'm just going to mix it around the chicken to absorb any of that water and make sure it's nice and dry and just ready to absorb all of that flavor we're finna put in. Mixing it around just using a paper towel, then using the excess to kind of wipe out any little bits out of the sink. You could always use some bleach to clean it out after. And wash my hands. I'm going to use a whole lime just to add some zestiness. And I'm going to squeeze the whole thing in there, both sides. Do not try and do it with one hand. It didn't really work. But I'm squeezing it really well, making sure I'm getting lots of lemon juice in there. Also the little buttholes, the part that comes out to attach to the tree, I guess. I take those out for sure, because if you accidentally eat a lime butthole, it's very bitter. It does not taste very nice. So I like to go in afterwards and just make sure I'm taking those out. Right here, there's the little butthole. We need to say goodbye to that. And we're going to make sure everything is nicely evenly coated. I'm going to go in with some China Lilly soy sauce. This is my favorite soy sauce. It has a deep, rich color. It's not too salty, but it will really enhance the flavor. We're using that as our salt for this dish. I'm going to go in with a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. I like to marinate with a little bit of oil just to prevent sticking on the grill. Taking some smoked paprika because it has that beautiful red color. It's pretty mild in flavor, but will give us lots of gorgeous color. And going in with a little bit of cumin. Not a huge fan of cumin, but I'm putting a little bit just to kind of go with our spice mix. Going in with some fresh cracked black pepper. Putting in a generous amount because a lot of those little pepper pieces are just gonna burn off in the grill, so I want to make sure that enough of it goes in. Going in with some poultry seasoning. It's just basically a blend of sage, rosemary, thyme, and other things just to enhance the flavor of the chicken. It goes well, but it is not our flavor profile. I'm gonna go in with some Mexican chili powder and some sumac. I decided to go into my international foods spice aisle and explore some new chilies. Every time I buy a new spice, I like to try it, and I love the sumac. It's kind of more mild, has a really nice flavor. I have this Urfa black chili ground. It's almost a more of a bitter, smoky flavor, and I'm adding that in there. My absolute favorite chili pepper is Aleppo. Oh my gosh, it is, even just smelling it, a lot of times when you just smell chili flakes, they're very sour. Aleppo is so freaking delicious. I couldn't find it, but I highly recommend it. You could also use cayenne pepper. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of garlic powder. It's great as a little bit of a flavor boost as well as a thickening agent, almost like how flour thickens things. This won't thicken it in the same way, but it'll just kind of dry up our marinade and help it to stick to the chicken bits. The lime in this is really going to help to tenderize the chicken as well, so we can ensure that we have a very tender piece of meat, and that's why I'm using thighs over breast. Breast can tend to dry out quite a bit, and thighs usually keep their juiciness quite well. I'm giving it a really nice toss. It's gonna mix with the oil, the soy sauce, our wet and our dry ingredients, and that's really helping to keep those flavors bound into it. You could just grill it like this, but I recommend you marinate it for a little while. But I find one of the best tips for grilling any type of chicken or meat is you want to let it rest on your counter for a little bit so that the temperature can raise to closer to room temperature. That way your meat is going to grill at an even rate. While that's coming up in temperature and I've preheated my barbecue on high, I'm gonna start my salad. I like it to wilt a little bit into the flavoring, so I'm gonna take some nice cranberries, some feta, and some pecans. I'm just gonna sprinkle some dried cranberries on there. Even if you don't like cranberries, this is very nice in the salad. It adds just a little bit of sweetness, really great crunch with some pecans, and they're also very good for you. And then with feta, I like to dump it in my hand and then put it on, because I hate the idea of putting your fingers in feta juice to grab feta all the time and then putting it in there repeatedly. I think that's gross. That's why I like that crumbled one. I'm going to put my chicken on the grill. It's on kind of high heat just to get some grill marks. I'm putting the juicy side down, so if you were to look at it and see which side the bone would be on, you want the bone side up on your first mark. Once I've got them all on there, I'm gonna reduce the heat because I wanna use my barbecue as an oven and I wanna cook it on a lower heat. But we wanna get a really nice sizzle on there first, because I really enjoy like a little bit of charring. Now I want to prepare the sauce. I'm going to cover the chicken in afterwards, and I'm doing this after because if we just went in with cilantro and barbecued it, it would just burn off of our chicken thighs. So I find it's best to roll it up into a nice ball and start to slice it. It'll help you get smaller pieces. So I'm just taking a little bunch of cilantro for some flavor that, as you know, in Mexican cooking, there's a lot of cilantro, there's lime, there's chili. So I wanted to bring out those flavors in this burger, so that's why I'm taking a nice healthy little bit of herb, and it also just looks really pretty on the chicken, and I like doing stuff that has nice color because I feel like that is part of your eating experience, as if it looks really nice. I'm gonna take another half of a lime and squeeze that in as best as I could. There's no butthole on this lime right here, so I'm just making sure it is getting all the juice out. I don't have to pull anything out afterwards. Then I'm going to take some fresh garlic. A garlic press is my best friend because I really hate the smell of garlic on my fingers, but if you do get garlic on your fingers, you can rub your fingers underwater on stainless steel, like on your sink, and it'll take the smell out. But I really like to use a garlic press because it will take so long to get garlic that small with a knife when I can just smush it through a garlic press like that. And I'm a garlic fiend, so I used hella of it, and I like the tangy flavor of having raw garlic on fresh barbecue. Now, usually I just use Frank's Red Hot sauce, but I didn't realize how little I had because I already pre-tested this recipe and used half of it, but I wanted to add a little bit more hot sauce, so I took my Valentina hot sauce, another one I really like actually. I would recommend just doing the Frank's, but it was really nice with the Valentina too. And I'm gonna take some cold butter and I want to shave it with my knife. Now this is going to melt when we add our hot chicken. It's going to add a really nice creamy rich flavor to the sauce, just like if you're doing seafood, which this sauce would go really well on seafood too. But the lime and the butter together makes almost this like cheesy creamy type of sauce on your chicken. So I love the mixture of citrus and butter together, and because most of the fat will be burnt off on the barbecue, I want to add a little bit more juiciness, and I like to do this hot because it almost seals in flavor, but I'm cutting it quite thin so that it has enough chance to melt. If you put a big brick in there, it's not really going to melt that well. I'm gonna go and check on my chicken once again. Like I said before, I really like that char mark, so it's getting closer to being cooked, but I'm just gonna give it a nice little flip around. And obviously it's reduced quite a bit in size, and we just want to finish off the cooking on low inside of the barbecue. Now I've got these really beautiful squishy pillowy brioche buns. They're locally made. I like locally made bakeries or bread because you know it doesn't take a long time to transport, and I ended up canceling this because filming and remembering everything is kind of hard. I did put it on the grill, but in the end I ended up putting it in my oven because I burnt the first bun. But I'm gonna go ahead and put my cooked chicken into the pot. And again, cooking and filming is kind of new to me, so I cook these. They're very tender, so they broke apart a little bit, which is fine because we're gonna layer them. Chicken thighs are kind of small, but we want to get it on that butter. I'd also recommend using a metal bowl if you could. It just absorbs the heat a little bit better. So I found I had to toss this a little bit longer, which is why it kind of broke apart. And a metal bowl, which I tried before, absorb the heat from the chicken a little bit better, so I didn't have to toss it quite as much because the butter melted quite a bit faster. But well, the color is gorgeous, it smells gorgeous, it's garlicky, it's buttery, it's got that hot sauce and chilies on it. I'm gonna go back to my salad. I'm putting salad dressing on. I can make a full salad dressing if you're interested, but this is just a really quick one because the burger has so much flavoring. But this is just Costco olive oil and balsamic. Costco has some of my favorite balsamic vinegar. I don't know why. Their garlic butter and their balsamic are two things that I just don't mess with. Giving it a nice toss so that each leaf is evenly coated. This is gonna go so well with our mostly kind of tangy, spicy burger. Very mildly spicy, by the way. Now, this is a game changer. This is Kewpie mayo or Japanese mayo. It's almost like an aioli. It's a little bit more rich. It has way more flavor. I'm gonna do that on the bun. I'm not putting too much on it because we've already made a sauce with the chicken that I'm going to put on the bun. So I'm just gonna blend that out. Blended. I'm so used to makeup tutorials. I meant to say, I'm just gonna spread it out with a knife and make sure that it's even. This is just, honestly, replace your mayo at home with Kewpie mayo or Japanese mayo. It has like this chubby baby and it's in a plastic kind of bag in that cream bottle with the red lid. It is so amazing. And I'm going to layer on some of our greens that we had before. I know not everybody loves their mixed greens, but I really like them. Taking mostly the spinach from it, and I'm gonna start to layer our chicken on top. I've got about 2.5 of the chicken thighs on there. They're pretty small thighs, but they'll make a nice even coat. I'm gonna close that up and give it a little squishy squish so that the chicken stays in there. And I'll layer our salad on the side. It is looking delicious. And these two go so well, and it's just as satisfying as if you have fries and you don't feel like a piece of trash after. We're working on our summer bods, but we're still having burgers, you feel me? This is just such a nice way to, if you're entertaining, have a really quick meal. You can still be social while you're cooking. Cut it in half so it's a little bit easier to eat, but it is oh so good. Alright, so we got it all together. Our dish is made. Maybe we should do dinner dates with ourselves, do little makeup tutorials and have dinner, but this is so good. Got a nice juicy salad on the side. Hope you enjoy. Please subscribe to Sonjdradeluxe. I'll be posting my cooking tutorials on there now, just because I know that the interest of cooking can be very different from the interest of doing makeup. Love you so much. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and follow. I'll see you on the next dish. Love you, bye.